Michael Douglas play golf with Jack Nicklaus, it's not that funny now. Or, how would you like to have a barbecue with Kevin Kline? Well, our next guest says that's no problem. She wrote a book on how to do it. It's called Meet the Stars. Please welcome Missy Laws. Hi, Missy.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. Well, I read all your background material with great interest. When did you first start worming your way into people's lives like this?
Well, when I was about 17,
You started young.
Yeah, when I was interested in being popular in high school, like most people. And I thought that a good way to become more popular was to take Burt Reynolds to my junior-senior prom.
Yeah, that would do it for me.
Help.
Yeah.
So I decided to ask him, and I called and got his manager's number, and I found out the manager was staying in New York, and I ended up calling the same hotel and finding that Mr. Reynolds was there, and I spoke to him on the phone, and I invited him to the
At 7 in the morning, I believe.
Yes,
you woke
it was at 7 in the morning, and unfortunately he didn't go. So I thought, well, I've got to get someone else who's good-looking and impressive and maybe an actor. So I was working at that time at an ice cream parlor, and one of the dishwashers there, I guess, had been a friend of the director of a movie that was being made in Atlanta. So anyway, I took this message down for this dishwasher since I was supposed to answer the phone and take messages.
Yes.
And the director said to this, you know, for this guy, he was supposed to be over at the audition at such and such a time on such and such day. So I made a little copy for myself, and I arrived at this audition. And I walk in, and there are all these men sitting around in army uniforms, so I looked very out of place.
Yeah.
And I walk up to the secretary with a lot of confidence, and I said, yes, my agent told me to be here. Naturally, I had no agent or never done any acting at all.
You're pretty much lying. Yeah.
Lying straight through my teeth, yes. Yeah. And so she said, oh, well, goodness, it's all men today. Perhaps you were already cast. Do you think that's it? I said, that must be it. That must be it. So she said, well, you better hurry over to the set and see makeup and wardrobe, and, you know, you're probably the party girl. And I said, oh, that must be it. And I went over there. They made me up. They put my clothes on me. I was paid for it, and I got to act in this movie. And I took my partner, who was an actor, with me. I took him to the prom with me, and he was really handsome, and, you know, he could say he was an actor in this movie, and it was great. So that's kind of how it started.
You know how close you came, though, to being busted on this?
Well, I mean, what could they really do to me, though?
They couldn't hurt you or kill you, I guess.
There's nothing they could do to me. They could just say, get out of here, you know? So you don't have much to lose, so you should go after your dreams. That's how I feel about it.
You've made a career out of crashing parties and finding celebrities. It's a real science. Where have you been, and who have you been with? Lots of pictures in the book, I noticed, of all these celebrities. Who have you been with? I mean, you know, not in the biblical sense necessarily, but if you want to tell us, you can. Who has been...
I didn't sleep with these people either.
You didn't? Okay,
I should
see, that was my
clarify
next...
that.
Okay, good.
There are a lot of people make passes at you, and I tended, what I would do is I'd tell them about my morals, and I believe you have to be in love with somebody, and I have these old-fashioned ideas, and I think because of that, I think they respected me more. And they kind of thought of me as, I had marriage proposals from celebrities, and I think if I'd slept with them, I might not have gotten those proposals because they thought of me as different.
Who are we talking about here?
Well, I'm not going to say who the marriage proposals are from, but I dated people like Andy Gibb and John Schneider and Tony Bennett. And
dated on a regular basis.
Davis, and went out with, various people.
I also noticed you were with Bob Hope.
Yeah.
How did you date Bob Hope?
No,
well, he's married.
He's married.
Yes, that's true, and we have these morals, okay. All right, so Bob Hope was one of them.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra, you had a little experience with Frank Sinatra.
I went to a really great party that he had. I crashed this party. This was in 1980. And this was when Reagan was put into office, when he was just being inaugurated into office. And Mr. Sinatra, I heard that he was having a party at the Madison Hotel, but I didn't know exactly where in the Madison it was going to be. So I went over there and, you know, acted confident, because you never know when a security guard could be watching, so you always have to pretend that you know what you're doing.
Security is your enemy.
And that is your enemy at all times. And so I walked in, and I heard this voice behind me, and it was Charlie Pride, and I thought, I bet he's going to the party, right? So I kind of followed behind him. He was with his wife, and he started ascending the staircase, and at the top of the stairs I could see these two security guards, and I thought, that's how you get into the party. Well, I wanted to seem like I was with Charlie Pride and therefore be able to let him get me into the party, but I had nothing to say to him. I don't know the man, you know, I didn't know what to say, so I just kind of jumped beside him, and I pretended to be talking, because the guards were far enough away.
Pretending you're talking to Charlie.
And I was smiling, I was going... You know, and the guards were sitting...
Charlie doesn't think she's on at all.
They were staring at me like I was insane, and the guards were like smiling at me like, she's in with him. She knows him really well, you know? And we glided right into the party, and that's how I got in. It was fantastic. Kissinger was there, and Clint Eastwood, and Bob Hope, and Johnny Carson, and, I mean, you name it, everybody was there. It was all celebrities. I actually felt a little out of place, you know, because here I am, a little peon, you know, and all these people, so... but it was exciting.
How about Julio Iglesias? I noticed was on your list.
Yeah.
He's awfully cute.
Yeah, he is. He offered me a job. What I had done is I had found out, this was when he made his premiere appearance in Los Angeles. He was at the Universal Amphitheater. And all I did is I picked up the phone and I called backstage and I asked for his manager. And I spoke with the manager and I said, yes, I met Julio before at Chasen's, because I had heard, heard in the media that there had been a party for him at Chasen's, and Julio told me to come by. Is tonight all right? I totally lied. The man said,
oh, my God,
well, if Julio told you, you better come by. And I went by, and I was able to get backstage, and when I was in the dressing room, then Mr. Iglesias offered me a job working as his publicist. I didn't take it, but
you know what bothers me, though, is that you have to do an awful lot of lying.
Well,
everything is deceitful.
Unfortunately,
your whole life is a lie.
Unfortunately, you can't call up Elizabeth Taylor and say, hi, let's have lunch tomorrow.
Who would want to, though?
It's not that you're lying to the celebrities, because you don't want to lie to the celebrities. You want to present yourself as you really are, because you want to become this person's friend or date or business partner. But to get past security, you have to lie. I mean, you can't just say, hi, I want to get in. They're not going to let you. So you're kind of playing the role of an investigator and kind of the role of an actor.
Well, that's a good point. But once you spend it, you get to the celebrity, do you say, I've just spent the last 3 weeks lying my butt off to get to you?
You could.
Do you spill the beans?
I don't do that.
You have to keep some integrity.
You want them to think of you as being on their level. So you don't want to say, hi, I just crashed this event. You want to be able to walk in and have your own bodyguards and have your own ritzy-looking clothes, even if you only spent $2 on it. And I used to even borrow cars from, like, Rolls Royces and Corvettes from friends in order to go to see a celebrity, in order for them to think you're on the same monetary level, because it makes them feel more comfortable. Because they get a lot of people coming up and saying, can you give me some money?
Yeah, you don't want to be one of the groupies.
You don't, exactly. You want to be on their level.
Well, what I want you to do, everyone at home, is get a pencil and paper out, everyone in the audience, because Missy is going to give us tips, blow by blow, on how to do this. Be thinking about who you would like to meet, and you can meet them. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to tell you how. Who would you like to go out with?
John Stamos.
He is very cute. Good hair, too, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who would you like to go out with?
Burt Reynolds. Not really.
Is this embarrassing for you?
Well, really, who I like to go out with? Let me see. What's Patrick Swayze? But he's married.
Yeah, he'd be good. Yeah, he'd be good. All right, Missy. Give us some tips now on what we do. Everyone is taking notes. How do you do it?
Okay, well, let's say you want to meet William Hurt, an actor, for example. And the first thing you need to do is you have to get the number for his manager or agent. And to get that, you would just go to, like, call a union, like Screen Actors Guild, or you could call, like, if he's been on a show, like The Tonight Show, you could call NBC, you could call a major agency, a theatrical agency, to get that number. When you call the agent, what you're going to do is you're going to pretend to be a journalist. And you don't want to say, I'm from the Washington Post, because they might be able to uncover the fact that you're not truthfully from the Washington Post. So you're going to want to say either a small-town paper, or you're going to want to make up a publication. So let's say you decide to say the Gainesville Sun in Gainesville, Florida, which is a small town.
This is to get the star's itinerary.
To get the itinerary is what you're going to basically be doing. And they're going to want to give you this itinerary because they want publicity for their client. And you're going to say, hi, I'm doing a story on Mr. Hurt, and, we need the itinerary for that reason. You're going to find out where he's going to be, what he's going to be doing all over the country, and then you're going to plan to go meet him, where he is, wherever you decide that you want to meet him. Now, you can find out what hotel he's staying at, and in order to do that, there are very few nice hotels in any city. So what you do basically is you just start with one of the nicest hotels, and you call up and you say, you pretend to be from the management office and pretend to be confirming reservations for the celebrity. And you say, I'm from Mr. Smith's office, I'm confirming reservations for Mr. Hurt. They're going to look and see when he's coming in, when he's going to be there. That way you can find out all the details when he's, arriving, leaving.
And then you get to the hotel before he does.
Yes, you can go to the hotel ahead of time.
You're laying in wait, as it says.
And when you get to the hotel, what you do is you go to the front desk and you say, I'm here to check the rooms for Mr. Hurt to see that they're up to par. They'll go, oh, yes, ma'am. They'll give someone the key. They'll take you up. They will show you the room that he will actually be in. So you'll have every actual detail.
So you see the star. He's walking in the lobby. Then what do you do?
Okay, well, the first thing, okay, then you're going to approach the person after you've decided where you want to meet him.
You don't fall to your knees or anything?
No, you don't.
Okay.
It's good to know as much about the celebrity ahead of time as possible. You're going to be doing research to find out everything. I remember one specific occasion I wanted to go out with Hal Needham, the director who did some of Burt Reynolds' pictures like Smokey and the Bandit and some others, and I had read that he lived at Burt Reynolds' house, at his guest house, and that he was a good friend of Burt's, and I found this perfect card, and it said, to a wonderful, sexy, handsome man, and inside it said, but enough about Burt Reynolds. All I did, because I had done this research and I had personalized it, I signed my name, I mailed it to him, he called me up and asked me out. So that's how important it is to personalize.
This stuff works. Good. Now, you say get overdressed.
You overdress.
Do you want to dress like a, what can we say on TV? You know?
You don't wear blue jeans. You try to be always, to overdress.
You don't
want
to look cheap.
You want to
Oh,
look...
do you want to look cheap?
Well, you don't want to look cheap. I don't know. It depends on what you want.
Kind of
you might want to look cheap. I don't want to look cheap.
A cheap and an expensive one.
Yeah, you want to look like you have a little bit of money, and you want to look impressive. And just to overdress always makes you look impressive. Plus, it's easier to get past security if there's security involved with that.
Good point.
So that's important to do. And also, if you're trying to get a date, it's better to get the star to approach you rather than to approach him, because people like to feel that they made the decision rather than having someone else make the decision for them. Plus, celebrities get a lot of people coming up to them. So if you act like you're not even that interested, or you kind of distance yourself, that may make them more interested in you.
All right, you have a question.
Yes.
So far, you're taking notes.
Did you ever get caught?
I've gotten like gone in one door to get into something and had somebody turn me away, and I had to go to another door. You never give up. You always have a lot of plans, and you have plan A, B, C, D, and it's always
You never
worked
give
out.
up.
I don't give up. If you really want something in life, I don't believe you give up on it. I believe you can do anything you want.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. What is your question for Missy?
Hi. I would like to know if this approach would work for a sports star, such as baseball or football. How would you go about meeting a baseball player or a football player?
You would basically do the same thing. You get the schedule of where they're going to be, and so you know exactly where they're going to be. They may have practices ahead of time. You can go to the practices. Usually security is very lax during practices. You find out what hotel he's at, just like I outlined before. You can find out every little detail of where he's going to be, and then you would decide, you know, where you want to meet him, and you would follow the same rules.
Okay, once you have him in conversation, you've accomplished your goal.
Mm-hmm.
Michael J. Fox is standing right here with me. What do I say to him? How do I make him think I'm not an idiot?
Well, one thing that's always good to do is to compliment uniquely. When you go up to them, don't say, oh, I love your show so much. You would go up to them, rather than do that, you would say something unusual so that you kind of stand out. And you would say, you know, you have a sexy nose, or whatever you can think of that'll make you stand out. But you also want to be honest, because celebrities meet so many people, they can kind of see when you're not being truthful about your compliments, or when you're not being completely down to earth. Because when I interviewed celebrities, they all said the one thing they liked most is people that were down to earth. That was very important to them. So you also want to give that across too.
Who is the most important person you think, or the most impressive, the one that really thrilled you?
Well, I mean, I was excited. Maybe somebody like Reagan was fun to meet, and I met him because I wanted to do an interview with him for the book, and I wanted to get a picture with him. And so this was a couple of years ago, I guess. And I called the White House first, and just totally above board, I said, you know, I'd like to get an interview with the president and get a picture with him. And they laughed in my face. They said, he can't do that. You got to be crazy, you know. And so I ended up going to the hotel where he was staying in Los Angeles, and I met some people that were with him. It's always good to get to know the friends of celebrities.
And you got right in.
And they invited me to this party in Palm Springs. He has an Annenberg party. Walter Annenberg gives a party every year.
She went to President Reagan's party.
So I went down there, and I got
impressed?
the interview with him and the picture, and everything worked out fine.
Was he asleep? Nice question. No, he wasn't asleep. He was working on important stuff. Missy, thank you for being with us. Did everyone learn something?
Yeah.
Yes, we're ready.